It's our Requiem. It's not Mozart's. It's Vivaldi's seasons are all very well. And so we had a church, and it was the Thursday before Easter. So we thought we would collaborate on a piece of music to perform in the church. And because of the date, we thought that it should be something momentous, and the ideas came and went.
So the time we first met to discuss this piece, it was the same week as Christopher Hitchens had died, a writer of whom we were both great fans. It was also that same week the death of my idol Russell Hoban, who was a writer whom I had interviewed a couple of months before his death, and he'd spoken at great length and to terrifying length about the blackness that he imagined. And I think one of the great focuses of our piece was that once upon a time you could write a requiem with the absolute certainty of what was to come, that there was something beautiful around the corner. And one of the things that haunted us was the fear that one went through one's life hoping and hoping and hoping, and that ever on then there was constant hope of a better tomorrow, but that ultimately around the corner was nothing but black. And I think this terror informs a lot of what we wrote.
For the first time recently, when I started getting involved in writing for orchestras, which was last year, I wrote a piece of music and it was performed by somebody else. And it is quite a strange experience for somebody that's come from the rock or pop world. But it's quite nice.
I saw Roger performing for the first time on a very strange and beautiful night on a odd boat in the middle of the Thames. It was a wintry night and the boat was rocking, and he was premiering a couple of his classical pieces, and it was mind-blowing. I had to dash off immediately afterwards and tragically didn't get a chance to talk to him, but we met several months later at my next album launch.
I saw Adam again recently. I think it was before Christmas?
A little before Christmas.
Yeah, a little before Christmas in London. And I was watching him perform and I was thinking, you know, this would be such a cool collaboration if we did something together, because we're so completely different. And it's pointless collaborating with people that that you're the same as, because you might as well just collaborate with yourself.
I'm painfully slow and plodding, and produce these things of many layers, and I would like to pretend it's all intuitive, but often it's not. It takes me months to compile things, and Roger sits in front of a piano and then says, right, here's the piece, and it's amazing.
So I was thinking this, and Clarita said, oh, you and Adam should do something together. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I was just thinking that. And then Adam had been looking at playing in a church, and so we thought we would discuss this. At one point we decided we needed a bigger church because we had got up to 10 or 11 musicians and instruments, and we were getting quite carried away, and I think we both left wondering how we were doing and what we got ourselves into. But we went away, and we both started to work on the different pieces, and we decided to split the piece into 5 movements.
The 5 movements being a prelude, a prenatal, pre-birth kind of section, followed by spring, followed by summer, followed by autumn, and finally by winter. And throughout it there's a sense that the present is intolerable for one or another reason, but that something great is coming just around the corner. And we wait for the next movement, and we wait and we wait, and ultimately each is just a succession of horrors and disappointments until the final winter is just black. and it was in some ways a very uncomfortable piece to write. Of course, both of us specialise in gloom, so it's not too far from what we do much of the time, but I think it was more sincere in many ways.
Which I could not compose like you do.
Feelings mutual.
I sit, like you said, I go and sit at the piano and the piece presents itself to me, and then I go into my studio and orchestrate it, and it's like a stream of consciousness. What I thought was most interesting about the process was that I could feel you influencing the way I was writing, which is the most important thing about any collaboration, is that you take from the other person, you don't really exist. I remember you asked me about another previous collaboration I'd done, and you said, well, how did it work? And I said, well, I just wrote it and gave it to her, which isn't really a collaboration. But this truly is, because we've done a movement, 2 movements each, and then we work together on the last one. It's a challenge, and when you think of something so different, they bring an entirely different point of view to your music and to the entire project.
Somehow, there's a bit of the spring movement which I wrote, which is really, really sparse. I've never done sparse before. I don't know if I'll ever do sparse again, but that's entirely your dish.
Well, some of the summer has got a clarinet, which I never thought would happen. and it's hectic, and I don't really do hectic. So I'm doing hectic and you're doing sparse.
Strange world.
Yes, this is a strange world.